Introduction to layouts. Layouts in P6 are similar to views in Microsoft Project and in Electrosoft Power Project and are created to save most of the formatting in the top and bottom panes in windows such as the Activities window, Projects window, Tracking windows, WPS and Resource Assignments windows. A layout may be copied and opened in any window by selecting View Layout and selecting the appropriate command. So View Layout, you can open a different layout, you can save changes to this layout, or you can copy by saving a layout as. Or you can click on this little down arrow here, which will again open up the similar sort of menu to open, save or save changes. So I'm in the Projects window and I'm showing the project's layout. If I want to apply a different layout, I can select Layout, Layout, Open, and I can open a different layout. If I select Project Cost, Apply will apply the layout but keep the open layout window open, and I can see the changes, or I can go to Project Coding and see the changes here, and then I can click Open to apply the layout that I highlighted. I can also go to View Layout and open a layout, and I can go back to the original project's layout and open it. So that's how you open a different layout. Introduction to Activity View Layouts. So layouts hold the formatting for group and sort, columns, bars, timescale, lower pane tabs, lower pane tab columns and print settings, and they're all saved as a layout, may be reapplied later and may have a filter associated with it. Layouts contain the formatting for all the options in both the top and bottom pane except the date and duration formatting that is set in the user preferences, and we'll cover that later. The following types of activity layouts are available. There are global layouts that are usually managed by the database administrator and are often made read-only to users and usually templates for projects. There are user layouts, and these are only available to the user and may be applied to any project. And then there are project layouts that are available to any user who has the project open and may be exported with an XML file. So when I select the Activities window, you'll see I'm showing the classic WBS layout. So if I want to open another layout, I select Layout, Layout, Open, and you'll see here there are a large number of global layouts, but there are no user or project layouts. If I want to apply a different layout, like the classic schedule layout, I can apply it and see the layout, or open it to open it. And this layout contains the formatting of the timescale, the bars, the formatting of what tabs are available, the columns in the tabs, the columns. And if I go to Print Preview, it holds the print settings, headers and footers. And also if I have any filter applied, then that is part of the layout. So if I want to create a project layout, I'll select Layout, Layout, Save As. I can then save it as a project layout and select the existing name, or I can change it, and I save. Now if I go into the layout menu, I select Layout, Layout, Open, you'll see now that we have a copy of the classic schedule as a project layout, and anybody who opens this project will see that layout, and also if somebody else opens that project, they will see the layout. All of these layouts that come with the database have issues with the formatting of the bars, and my recommendation is to either reformat all the bars or just delete all of the Oracle layouts and start again. And I've put a layout on my website called primavera.com.au layout, which has all of these problems resolved, and I'll show you how to find this layout, download and import it. So I have several websites. I have www.eh.com.au, I have primavera.com.au and eastwoodharris.com, and all of them enable you to access the software and downloads, and you'll find that I have a number of layouts, and this is where I have the Primavera version 23, 22, 21, 20, 19. In my experience, all of these can be imported and exported into any version, but you'll find in later versions of the software there are more functionality, and therefore I provide access to the data when they have more functionality. You can therefore download this layout, it's a zip file, and then import it into the software. So let me show you how to import it now. So I've downloaded and imported to my desktop this layout, the primavera.com.au version 23, and if I right click I can edit it, and you can open it up in Notepad and you'll see it's just a tacky text file. If I want to import this layout into Oracle Primavera P6, I need to be in the activities window because it's an activity layout, and I select View Layout, Open Layout, and now I can select Import. I can select the layout, Open, and therefore if I want to import it as a project layout, I can import it as a project layout, import it into this project, and if I select Save, then you'll see that it's imported into this as a project layout. Or if I want to, I can import it as a user layout, save it to the current user and save, and now I've imported the same layout as a user layout. So I've got two project layouts, I've got a user layout, and I've got all the original Oracle Primavera layouts, which I suggest you do not use in future because the formatting of the bars has some problems. So if I want to apply this layout, I then open it, and you'll see now that I've applied the layout. I've made a number of changes to this layout. In the tabs I've made or showing useful columns in the predecessors, successors, relationships, resources and expenses. Now they have more useful columns. I've also done a lot of work on the bars, and I've made a number of changes which I'll go through in the formatting chapter so that these actually show useful information now. And I've done a little bit of work in the headers and footers. So in the first workshop, you'll import and assign the primavera.com.au layout and use that for the rest of the workshops. So I'd like to talk about the top and bottom panes of Windows. The bottom pane may be hidden and displayed and resized, and displaying and hiding the bottom pane may be achieved with the toolbar menu command, and the activity window has many options for the content of the top and bottom panes. The project details and activity details panes should be formatted to hide unwanted data by hiding tabs. Let's just have a look at that. We have a top and bottom pane. The bottom pane may be resized, and the top pane may also be resized using the vertical line. You can hide or display the bottom pane. This button here allows you to hide the bottom pane, so there's no bottom layout. If this button is not available, then you need to go and make sure that you tick the no bottom layout. So this will hide the bottom pane, and that will display the bottom pane. The tabs in the bottom pane may be formatted by right clicking and customizing the activity details. You can decide which tab you want displayed or hidden, and I would recommend you hide the ones you're not using. So if it's an unresourced program, get rid of things like expenses and resources and summary and that sort of thing. When I select OK, obviously the top pane, the columns can be formatted using the columns form. The bars may be formatted using the bars form up here. The timescale may be formatted with the timescale form, or by using the plus and minus here to make it bigger and smaller, and putting the mouse in the top to drag left or right, or in the bottom to make it bigger and smaller. The bottom pane, as I mentioned before, you can edit the columns. So you right click and customize the predecessor columns. You can decide what columns you want. So my layout, I've done a lot of work on these columns. I've done a lot of work on formatting the bars, and a little bit of work on the headers and footers. So you can go View, Show on Top, or Show on Bottom, and here you can see various options. At the moment we're just talking about the details, but we'll look at these other ones down the track. So to summarize the open layout form, this form allows you to apply a layout and see it without closing the form or open it. You can import or export. You can also delete any layouts if you want to. There are three types of layout: global layouts that anybody can apply to any project, user layouts that only that user will see and can be applied to any project, and project layouts that anybody who's opened that project will see that layout. You can click on Apply to apply it, Open to open it, and obviously Import and Export will import and export a layout. To apply a different activity layout, you select Layout, layout, open will allow you to apply an existing layout. If you import, you can import, or I can export this classic schedule layout. If I select export, it will export as a PLF file and I can put it on the desktop. Also, if I export a project as an XML file, I can export the layout with them if I want to. That's an option. I can delete any of these layouts. If I want to delete the layouts, I can delete them here. So there are global layouts. As I said, all of the Oracle ones I recommend you delete because the bar format is not very good. There are user layouts that only you will see, or whoever is logged in as the admin person, and there are project layouts.